Hello, my name is Fred Mullen, and I have something I'd like to share with you. J.T. Jake Glisson was an artist, writer, inventor, and all-around Renaissance man from a small Florida town between Gainesville and Ocala by the name of Cross Creek. Rip Torn, an Oscar-nominated actor, was a friend of Jake and was cast in a movie based on the book by J.K. Rowling. Torn was not happy about the boat provided to him for the film. He knew that Jake had the knowledge and ability to provide an appropriate boat, much to the chagrin of the props master. He knew Jake had written another book entitled The Creek, and had written a foreword to that book. Here's a part of what Mr. Torn said. Many of my major scenes in the movie took place in a fishing boat, but the boat selected wasn't proper for the period and had an outboard motor. Although the era was in the 1930s, the boat was a 1956 vintage plywood runabout with an outboard transom. And JT said, "Well, you've got a right to be concerned. I'm not promising you anything, but I would like to see the house that they built on Cane Hammock movie set, if the film people aren't around." I said, "Everyone's off tomorrow. I've got an okay from the producer, and security guard has been alerted to expect us." So after church, JT picked me up and we drove to the set. He was taken with the construction of the main set of the movie, a cracker home with a porch and a dog trot. Movie sets are constructed so the walls can be removed and replaced for lighting and camera purposes. JT laughed. "This movie takes place in the 30s? He said, "This is like a 1956 Popular Mechanics design made of plywood. We didn't have plywood down here until after World War II, and we sure didn't have gasoline motors until then. We got a problem, all right." How JT decided to build a new boat and how he persuaded a small sawmill operator in Eureka to sell him cypress and planted is another story. It was built in 3 days and nights of intensive labor by he and myself, without plans, just Jake eyeballing it and shaping it. Bull Gator, as we named the craft, was a gem. A teamster from the movie came over, looked at it, and he smiled. He returned with Bob Radnitz, who said, "It's a beauty. I know a good craft when I see it." He leased it from us, and it is all through the movie of Cross Creek. I get down here as often as I can to hunt and fish and just to visit. I always stay at the Glisson's wonderful house filled with paintings and sculpture and projects. We love to catch up on family, and like this morning, to hear and watch hundreds of sandhill cranes yodeling and crying and dancing as they glide in to land in the pasture behind the house. This is just a small excerpt from the book of The Creek, written by Rip Torn. I think it's important that we read, especially about local events and history. It gets us a chance to see and understand things of the past and how they affect us in the present and in the future. Thanks for listening.